I know how good this team is. I think we all know how good this team is. But how awful, dysfunctional, horrendous did this team look in the last 2 minutes of this ball game today? First off, I think it's the final here, 128-120. It's not. I think it's over. That's what it is right now, at least. Raptors lose 128-120 over the Portland Trail Blazers. You give up 128 points. Not good enough. Plain and simple. Now let's talk about that last 2 minutes of the game real quick before we break down the whole game as a whole. You're down by, well, first off, let's go to the start of the fourth quarter. You're down by 2 points. Fred VanVleet goes to the line. He makes it a 1 point game, and we're like, wow, this is incredible. And then blows up, and you're down 16. What the heck just happened? And with about 5-6 minutes to go, the Raptors start shooting threes like it's going out of style, and they get it down to a 2 point game with about 1:15 to go. And look, I love Fred VanVleet. I love what he did tonight for the most part of the game. His statistics were great. He came into play because Lowry didn't play today. I think it was like his thigh or something when he fell in the last game. It looked rough. He didn't play today. Kawhi Leonard was back, though. And Fred VanVleet with 1:15 to go. You're down by 2. Look, again, I love what he has done all game long. But the fact with 1:15 to go, you are driving right away. You get the ball, you drive right to the basket, and he gets it stripped by Damian Lillard. Look, I know you're all fired up and you're in transition. You're feeling good. But you need to get a good look. That was a terrible decision by Fred VanVleet, because you know what happens after that? They steal the ball, they come down the court, and they fire up a 3, and it's a 5 point game instead of kicking it around, maybe getting a wide open 3, or going for a 2 and tying the game. It changes the complexity of the game. Let's go to about a 3 point game, 2 point game, or something like that. I don't know what it was. I think it was probably a 3 point game. And the Raptors looking to inbound the basketball. Kawhi Leonard trying to find somebody on the inbound. CJ Miles is the only one trying to get open. He's trying to fight through his screen. Ibaka's just walking over there. All right, I'm going to set the screen now. Ooh, he hits him. Freddie, Danny Green, you guys want to try and get open? Or are you just going to stand there? And they just stand there, and eventually Kawhi just has to fire it inbounds. You know what? It's too late. 8 second final, whatever the hell the number is that you have to get to in that point. And it's a violation. You see Kawhi's angry, and I don't blame him. I do not blame. Look, Serge, you clearly see CJ is getting hung up, so get open, get the inbound, and start the play. Instead, that happens. Then, the Raptors trying to get a quick 3. I think it was a 5 point game, and they look to get a quick 3. Nobody wants to take the shot. Kawhi gets it. He gives it to Freddie. Freddie's like, Danny, here, you take it. Here's Serge. Oh, God, don't let him take a 3. Over to CJ. Okay, no, back to Kawhi. At this point, you've already wasted 15 seconds. Then Kawhi takes a contested 3 and misses it. All what I just said is in the final 2 minutes of this game. The final minute and a half, even. It baffles me. And guys, I hate to say it. Well, I don't really hate to say it because it's facts and it's true. You saw the lack of impact. Or sorry, you saw the big impact that Kyle Lowry makes on this team. You saw it there tonight, him not playing. You gave up 128 points. Oh, the Raptors scored 2 points. They get it to 122. Oh, that's great. The defense was horrendous. The bench was abysmal. It was garbage. How did they build that 16-point lead in that fourth quarter? Well, their bench outscored our bench 14-0 at one point. Are you kidding? Look, our starters are great. Kawhi was ice cold for quite a while. And then he catches fire in the more or less the third and fourth quarter. I get you. Yeah, final 128-122. I think you guys heard the ding. I'm just going to put that on vibrate then. Kawhi Leonard ends up with 28 points on 8 of 18 shooting. It was even worse than that. And great news, Raptor fans. More or less sarcasm there. Pascal Siakam, after he falls on his rear end, I think it was near the end of the half, he doesn't return. Plays 25 minutes, 10 points, 4 boards. He was struggling, 3 of 8 from the field, 3 turnovers in the game. He leaves. That's a problem. Ibaka had 18 on 8 of 12 shooting. He was great. Fred VanVleet, guys, look, 21 points, 8 assists. That's great. But closing time. We have noticed this year, if there's one flaw to this team, well, I guess there's a couple. There's the bench's inconsistency is crazy, and losing JV for that significant amount of time. You saw the problem today the Raptors had with Nurkic. What did he do today? 11 points, 9 boards? Well, it felt like he did a lot more. What were the rebounds in the game today? Without Jonas Valanciunas? Okay, they were +1 in favor of Portland, but the offensive boards were double. They were 12-6. That's a problem. Look, the Raptors, they were shooting the ball great. You score 122, it's pretty darn good. The Raptors shoot 55% from the field, 58% from 3. Problem, you give up 128 points. The reason I'm upset here, guys, and I know how good this team is, and I know they're going to find their way. It's just funny how you see a game against Golden State without Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry playing, and you crush them. And then you play these guys, a team that has not played well at all lately. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 2 straight. They've been terrible. And you make them look fantastic. Look, credit to them. They made their shots. They made their wide open looks. Al-Farouq Aminu, usually I'd say he's a fruitcake, but he did his job. He made 13 points on, what was his 3-point? 3 of 5 from 3. He made a couple big ones late. Lillard had 24. McCollum only had 14. But listen to this. This is the reason the Raptors lost. The bench of the Toronto Raptors, who was your highest scorer? Miles with 13. CJ Miles was your leading scorer off the bench with 13. Your next one, Greg Monroe, 6. Let me go to their bench. Myers Leonard had 4 points, whatever. Evan Turner had 12 points. Zach Collins, I think it is, with 16. Stauskas with 13. Seth Curry with 13. That's terrible. The Raptors did a horrendous job defending them. And look, it's just one game in the end. All it is one game. But I'm here to analyze this one game. And not a good start. You slowly chipped away, and you had a 1-point game at one point in that fourth quarter, really early on. Then you had it a 2-point game. They're late. And then you just, I don't know what happened there late. They just looked dysfunctional as all heck. And that's all she wrote. Look, when you put yourself in a hole, excuse me, when you put yourself in a hole down 16 points midway through the fourth quarter, it is not easy to come back. They caught fire, which was great. And they got a few stops. Great. But then they struggled on offense to take care of the basketball even. And that was a big problem. Guys, we thought they were kind of getting away from the whole high turnovers games. They had 16 today. You know? And it's not good. Not good at all. Now, it's a game you got to forget. You got to move on. Did they play well? No. But a game you want back, definitely. Because a game that this team, you miss the presence inside of Jonas Valanciunas. You saw that for almost the entirety of the game today. Not only the rebounding, but whenever they were driving, usually JV's there to at least contest the shot. No one's really there. And kind of shocked, to be honest, guys. Chris Boucher didn't even get a chance to play. He obviously got called up for the JV injury. And I understand he, hasn't played a whole lot and all that stuff. But when this team wasn't shooting the ball well and wasn't defending the ball well, look, Greg Monroe was all right, but he's slow. And I think we can all attest to that. Look, he's great in the post. He's a good rebounder. He had six points, 2 boards on 3 of 3 shooting, guys. Problem though, he was a -11 while he was on the floor, and that's not all him, right? Obviously, DeLon Wright was what was he? He was a -16. OG was a -15. The question I have is, why was OG Anunoby out there in the middle of the fourth quarter when he's a -15 on the floor? That's where I question. But if you got to take positives from this game, the team never gave up. They continued to fight till the final buzzer. CJ Miles had 13 points, caught fire, was 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. That's what you want to see from a guy like CJ. Danny Green had a double-double, 19 points, 11 boards. He shot the ball well. Look, your starting unit shot the ball great. But that wasn't the issue. The issue is their bench destroying the Toronto Raptors bench. And the inability to close out a game on the road. It's not easy, but this team should be able to do it, and they didn't today. Now, yes, Kawhi Leonard is still fairly new with this team and all that kind of stuff, but this has been now a theme for almost the entirety of the season. When there's a tight game late, I don't know. There's been times where they've been all right, but there's been times where they just don't look in sync whatsoever. And like I've said, guys, I've said it over and over in this video, you really miss the presence of Lowry, and you really miss the presence of Jonas Valanciunas there today. But in the end, it's one game. You lost it. Oh well. That team's not a terrible team. Yeah, they haven't played well. Yeah, they're barely over 500. Doesn't really mean anything. They're a solid team. The Raptors just did not play well. Plain and simple. Credit to them for getting the win, knocking down their wide open looks. The Raptors just did not play well defensively. They're missing some key guys. Obviously, Lowry with injury. Still Norman Powell and JV. So it's a tough time. But they got to find a way to rebound and get back into the win column, and it does not get any easier as the Raptors head to Denver, taking on the Nuggets there. 8 o'clock tip-off in Denver, and we saw the problem the Raptors had with Jonas Valanciunas against Nikola Jokic. Now you don't have JV, and you're in Denver. It's not going to be an easy game there, guys, on Sunday night. Denver's 18-9. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They won their last game. They're a great-looking team. We saw that in Toronto. And that was one of those games this team could not close out. So, I'm not angry. I'm angry about the way this game finished and how they could have actually won the game if they... It was the mental mistakes, right? The physical mistakes weren't the problem. It was this. And it's a regular season game. But it's upsetting to see how this game ended, seeing how great they were coming back in the game and see it fall into a pit at the end. It sucks. But it's sports, right? In the end, it's just sports. It sucks. We're emotional about it, as you guys can clearly tell. And you got to find a way to move on, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video. And you guys enjoyed the game overall because it was entertaining, but it sucked. Hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What'd you think of the game? Who's your Raptors MVP in this one? Would you give it to Freddie? Would you give it to Kawhi? Serge? Who's your player of the game in this one, guys? And what do you think of the game overall? What do you think of the last couple minutes? The impact of JV and Lowry not being in the lineup? You got to get used to not seeing JV because he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. How big of a loss do you think that is for this team? I think it's a huge loss. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all that kind of stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition either Tuesday or Thursday podcast edition. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes, guys. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition. What is it? Tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow night. Yeah, it's Saturday. So tomorrow night as the Leafs are in Florida taking on the Panthers. 7 o'clock puck drop. Freddie Anderson, Roberto Luongo, the expected starters. The Leafs need a big rebound game after that tough one against Tampa. They want to pile the pucks in the net against Roberto Luongo there tomorrow night. And as for the Raptors, they look to rebound. Like they need to get back in the win column. Not only for our emotional sake, but I think for their sake as well. I'm hoping Kyle Lowry's back in the game on Sunday as the Raptors are in Denver taking on the Nuggets. The very, very good Denver Nuggets. 8 p.m. tip-off in the Mile High City. It's not going to be easy. I think, Denver, Colorado is the Mile High City. 8 p.m. tip-off, guys. The Raptors need to get back in the win column. You want to see a complete defensive game and somehow find a way to contain Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.